Hello, everyone. I'm your host of Hungry, Aaron Allegory. This is the podcast for creatives on the come up, by creatives on the come up, and I'm happy to introduce to you today Renee.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, great to have you on the show. Can you give our audience a little background on what it is that you do?
So that's always like a very interesting question, but I will just say I'm a creative entrepreneur and a wellness coach.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm interested more so in the wellness coach now.
Okay.
What does that look like?
Well, like I used to be a former athlete, so taking care of my mental and my physical has always been very important to me. So I like make protein shakes. I work at a nutrition club in the suburbs,
Okay.
and we do different stuff like that. Reach out to the community, energy teas, different things.
Yeah. Okay. I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like that, just because I'm like I have a massive come up story. So
Okay.
a lot of people go to me for like I'm like the wise friend in the friend group.
Okay.
So I'm always like, okay, cool. You got to work out. You're recommended to get this. You should be getting this many
Yeah.
servings. Like you should also take time to breathe.
Right.
And just decompress yourself, and balance is so crucial.
Right. And I think as creatives, we kind of lose track of that a lot, like
Yes.
getting caught up in projects, working late hours, things like that. So somehow I'm going to try to put all that together.
Yeah. Right.
So that we're not.
Being a creative with a consistent sleep schedule
is
tricky.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
tricky.
That alone plus working out. I mean, I feel like our magic is really enhanced once
Oh,
we're
yeah.
taking care of ourselves. So
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Self-love is like the best thing that can radiate off of somebody.
absolutely.
That's wonderful. I love that. Wellness coach.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Maybe I'll play around with the name, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm going with.
So, how long you been doing this?
I guess you can say I'm an expert, kind of, because if you think, like I said, I used to be an athlete, but technically I've been doing it for 4 years, the
Okay.
wellness coach part.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel you.
hmm
That's nice. So, along this journey that you've been going on, what is a struggle that you faced and how did you overcome it?
A struggle that I face and how did I overcome it? I feel like an ongoing struggle that I'm constantly facing and then constantly kind of overcoming is just getting out of my own way. That is like a constant thing for me.
Oh yeah.
And I think it is for a lot of people, but how do I overcome it? Sometimes I have to beat myself to my thoughts and just
Yeah.
it's like through action is how I overcome like me stopping myself.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally the quickest way.
Yeah.
I found it's the quickest way. If you're anxious or like you're in your own way, the quickest way is to just
Just do
go
it.
right at it. Just go right at it.
Yeah.
I was literally telling I was telling my grandmom that the other day because she's been struggling.
hmm
Her husband like died last year, so
Oh man.
she's been like, wow, I've been with this man for like 35 years.
Yeah, and how do I navigate it from there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's been going through that, and I'm like, she's trying to get used to like paying all the bills and
Yeah.
doing all this, and I was like, I know it's overwhelming, but the easiest way to relieve your stress is to go right
To
right
do
at
it, because you'll stop yourself from doing it, and you just have
Mhm.
to go. So, yeah, that's definitely. I'm constantly. It's almost like different levels of it, but that's a struggle that we're always overcoming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that's always constant. Like it's easy. It's so easy to get in your own way.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
once you realize that like your biggest enemy is you and being in your own way,
Mm.
it,
I mean, it all makes sense, but then somehow I'm like, oh, let's not do it. I always end up going back to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your organizational like? I feel like that's big.
What, like setting up systems and?
Yeah, or like I'm a checklist person.
Ooh, I'm a post-it note person.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my form of checklist. So you'll come into my house and you'll probably see like a post-it on the mirror in the kitchen. Like I feel like I have constant ideas that are coming through. It's just a matter of me finding a system to put all the post-its together and then do the checklist. I also use my iPad a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'll use my notes in there.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. I have a whiteboard. to my
Ooh,
apartment.
how big is it?
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Like okay, so I have two whiteboards. So one whiteboard is a calendar size, so it's a month. It's a very large size.
Okay,
It's got to be like 2 by 3 feet.
nice.
So I just make checklists, and it has like little checklist boxes in
Yeah.
each of the days. So I'll just put stuff. I'll be like practice base. I'll be like put this in here. Do whatever the tasks are Monday through Friday.
Right.
And then I'll just get another blue marker and I'll just check them off.
Are you big on like that instant gratification of?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's so necessary.
Yeah, that's how I feel with the post-it because I like crinkle up and then I shoot.
Mhm.
Yeah, the whole. Yeah.
Ron, yeah.
Kobe.
Yep. Yup. What is some advice that you would give to your younger self?
I guess I don't know what advice I would give to my younger self. Just do the things. I don't.
I
Yeah.
think it's kind of. I guess it's kind of interesting because you said you're an athlete,
Yeah.
right? So when you're an athlete, you have coaches.
Yeah.
So like you've had people in your ear like
Constantly. Yeah. I guess if like looking at it from that's a great point. Looking at it from that, I would say like don't be so scared to like do the things. I feel like as an athlete, I used to like hold back because the coaches might tell me something I didn't want to do it wrong, but you can only learn from.
Yeah.
You can only learn, honestly. So it's okay to get some things wrong, but as long as you're trying and going through it.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I used to wrestle in high school.
Ooh.
And when you wrestle, there's like moves where you can use your legs to make your opponent's legs just like useless. Essentially. Yeah. But like my coaches would never want me to do it because I was like shorter. Like my legs are thick.
Right.
So they're like, that's for lanky people because they can.
So they were stopping you.
Yes,
yeah.
They're stopping me, and I'm like, but it works.
Right.
But it works. So why am I not doing it?
I used to admire my teammates that would kind of like just go against coach and just do the things, and I'm like, you're onto something.
Honestly, I feel like life is like there are a lot of people that like are traps that respect you for not falling for it.
Wait, there's a lot of people that are traps that respect you for not falling for it.
They try to push you to do what they want.
Yeah.
And they respect you when you don't.
When you don't. Ooh. Yeah, I do come across a lot of people like that.
And just life situations like that. People always like, do this my way, do this my way.
Right.
And they hate that they can't manipulate you to do it their way.
Right.
But they're like, man, I really respect this person. Like they're always just.
It's almost like a leadership type of thing, like I hate the word power sometimes, but like, yeah, it's like a power trip a little bit. They're like, oh, I want to have this control, but then they're like, a lot of respect for you for not. Yeah.
And honestly, that was a struggle. I had to learn to, like, I used to want to please those people. And then as I was like going through my teenage years, I was like, no.
And you got in your teenage years, you were like, nah, I'm good.
I was like, well, like it turned into like, why?
Right.
Why?
Like, right. For what?
Yeah.
Because were you unhappy with it or?
Yeah. And also it comes down to like personal happiness.
Yeah.
When you follow what someone else wants you to do and things don't work out, who are you gonna blame?
Right.
Them.
Yeah.
Then you'll just resent them for it. It's much healthier to do what you want to do and just own your own decisions.
Right, and less energy goes into holding that resentment. Yeah.
Yeah. Because at least then you have no one to blame but yourself.
Or more energy goes into holding the resentment. Yeah.
Well, yeah, somewhat. I mean, I feel like I don't really like every time I've just done it my way. Like I'm cool with how it turned out.
Yeah.
But if things doesn't work out and I did what somebody else says, I kick myself because I'm like, why did I listen to you? Like,
right. Oh, in that case, yeah.
I'm like, why? Why did I do that?
Yeah.
Or people would tell me to do stuff and then they would later do something that I found like disrespectful.
Right.
And
or it's like you're not using your voice to speak up when you're like going through what they're telling you to do. So yeah, it's good. It's good to kind of be the rebel in that case.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is hungry. So we have to talk about not things that will make you hungry, but food in the past.
Okay.
So what is the worst struggle meal that you've had?
The worst struggle meal?
Yeah.
What? The worst struggle.
Or desperate meal. Desperate meal as well.
I mean, if you're desperate and it's a struggle, like, isn't it still good?
It can still be good.
It's still satisfying you in that moment. I don't even know. I feel like I make pretty good struggle meals.
Yeah, I mean, that's a gift right there.
Yeah.
And as like people of color, we're used to taking things that are scraps and making something.
Yeah, the goulash.
Exactly.
You've heard of goulash, right? Yeah. My dad took literally everything from the cabinet, would just throw it in a pot with some ketchup, but I can't call that bad though.
Right?
It was good.
Exactly. You find a way.
I'm like, what else? The chips in the sandwich, that's good.
Oh yeah, that's like teenager.
Yeah. Oodles and noodles. I don't know. I don't think I've had a bad one. Maybe if there wasn't enough seasoning around, but I've never done the water and cereal. I feel like that is,
yeah.
That's a moment that I have not had to do. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if the guests are gonna get offended if I talk about the struggle meals, but someone said they put orange juice in their cereal.
I've heard that. I thought people liked that though.
I've only heard one person say that, but I wouldn't do it by choice.
I mean, I would do the dry cereal,
Yeah,
if
exactly.
anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
No water, no orange juice, just dry cereal.
Yeah, and they were Rice Krispies. Rice Krispies with orange juice.
Ooh,
It might not be horrible because Rice Krispies is like a very light flavor.
I don't like Rice Krispies unless you got the marshmallows in. It's a treat.
Oh, okay.
But the cereal alone, I mean, you got to put some sugar in that.
Oh yeah.
I
That's
guess
like
that bowl alone is a struggle meal. Like no sugar, no anything.
Honestly, like nah, I'm not a Raisin Bran person, or just like
I used to be.
Really?
My doctor made me do it, but there was something about raisin. They're like it helped in some way. So like when I was younger, I was on Raisin Bran. I guess it was kind of torture a little bit. I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah, okay. And you're here today.
Yeah, I know. I made it through.
Yeah. Well, it has been lovely having you on the podcast.
This is great. Unexpected, but this was a pleasure.
Pleasant surprise by sheer networking.
Yeah, and being here. This is great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, this has been another episode of Hungry, the podcast for creatives on the come up, by creatives on the come up. We are so happy that you tuned in with us today, and we hope to see you next time. Have a good day.
This was a first, for real. All right. Well,